There it is. What's up, everybody? It's your man Apollo. Welcome back to another edition of the Unfiltered podcast. Special guest in the building. My let's just call him the official co-host now. Z is back. We represent our teams here. His team actually did something this year. Mine, not so much. Not so much. But I am glad I waited till Friday to record this podcast because before we get into the main topic of what the video is, it was breaking news in the NFL today. Game-changing breaking news. The offseason is starting off big time. But before we get into the video, let me first say, if you're new here, you be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the content. Thank you guys for coming through. Show my man excuse me. Show my man Z some love. We don't use government names here. Show my man Z some love. Also, let me give a shout out to Great Value Trevor Lawrence, Kenny Dots. You know who you are. Let me give a shout out to my man today. My man inspired me to use the face cam. But so we're gonna get started. We're gonna jump right into it. Like I said, breaking news. J.J. Watt. 10-year pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 101 career sacks. So he's already on an elite list. Houston Texans legend, and that very, very small. I mean, that franchise has only been around not even 20 years, and he's been there half the time. Dude is a legend. Between him and Andre Johnson, probably the two greatest Texans. Asked for his release. The Texans granted it. J.J. Watt is on the market. So now immediately you got to think at least 5 teams that are contenders are already asking to have this man or trying to recruit him to come to their team. One of them being the hat that my co-host Z is over there wearing. So I'm going to let Z make his case for why his Buffalo Bills should go and get J.J. Go ahead, man.
Well, first, we know when he signed his deal originally with the Texans, it was a 6-year, $100 million contract, right? Mm-hmm. Let's preface this a little bit. I think the reason why the Texans decided to cut him was because this year it was going to be about $15 million to keep him on the roster.
Yeah.
And I think and I believe that they're trying to keep Watson on that roster, and they're going to try to build a team around Watson at this point. And I think by cutting JJ, it kind of takes the burden away of his injury proneness off of their shoulders, and you're not paying this guy big money anymore.
Yeah.
So I think over the next 2 years, they're looking to save $30 million. I think it was $15 million this year, $16 million next year. Mm-hmm. And then he'd be a free agent in 2022, my bad.
Yeah.
And the Bills, we had Stephon Diggs reached out to him, and he's been trying to get him ever since. I feel like Stephon Diggs was kind of that first star, like, hey, I love it here. They actually gave me a reason to play again. And now he's going to start bringing that value into the franchise. And I believe that Josh Allen himself, with the giant leap that he made this past season, bigger numbers than probably anybody ever has done from year to year. At least from 1 year, the first year he was, y'all can agree he was, had some spectacular plays speckled in there. And then year 2 came around and they went 10-6, and he started hitting the game. But then there was sugar high Josh Allen that was erratic and crazy, and he started going crazy all over the place. And we lost in the Texan game in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And now you're seeing that maturity. He's slowed down the game. Yeah. He's got that deep threat. He can throw it. Yes. And I mean, everything's come together. And I believe that's why a big name like J.J. Watt could potentially come to Buffalo, because we really do need another defensive end, my bad. Yeah. Into the building.
Man, that helps.
And if he's injury prone, do a rotation.
And I agree with that. With a defensive line, especially if you have already a decent serviceable one, if you add a pro like J.J. Watt and you have a rotation, that helps. Now, I do agree with you, and Buffalo is, I think, if I had a top 5 list right now of teams that could go get J.J. Watt, Buffalo is on there. Obviously, number one is Tampa Bay. Tom Brady. He as soon as he saw that, if he's not still off on that tequila or whatever he was drinking the other day, he has to be like, hey, JJ, hey, bro, come on. We got Sue, JPP, probably going to lose Shaq Barrett. Come here. And we got Vita Vea. So that line is ready. So you get another veteran, probably for the veteran minimum, because now he wants to win. His legacy as a individual player speaks for itself. He's good. He's going to be in Canton for that. Speaks for itself. Now, in terms of having a championship, I mean, I think Tampa Bay's the easiest pitch. You got Tom Brady. You got a good offense. You got a good defense. Devin White ain't going nowhere. Pending injury. Knock on wood for these guys. That secondary will get better because they're young. So the only person they may lose would be Shaq Barrett or that other linebacker that was covering Kelsey. I forgot his name. Damn
Hold
it.
on, I got the free agency is up right now.
Yeah. Whatever his name was, for sure. Like it could be him. If not, there's always
Levante David.
yes, Levante David. Yeah. So I think he's like a 12, 13 year vet, I believe. He's been in the league a while. He's been around the block. Now he could come back again for another one. Cool, that's fine. So to me, Tampa Bay it's a slam dunk. If he goes to Tampa Bay, nobody should be surprised. And they're already favorite to go next year. Pending injury, JJ Watt will just fit right into the scheme. Watt knows how to play the position. He can set the edge. It makes sense. Number two, Super Bowl runner-up, Kansas City Chiefs. You got somebody opposite Chris Jones on that defensive line. For the most part, their defense is intact. Their offensive lineman will be back. He could go to the Chiefs. We can get a rematch between the same teams, which I don't think, have we ever had that in the Super Bowl? Back-to-back years? I don't think we've ever had I don't think we've ever had that back-to-back.
I think it was close in Super Bowl 1 and 2, I believe, because both Green Bay.
Now, we've had the same teams play each other, i.e. the Patriots and Eagles, but they weren't back-to-back. But this could be the first time we've had two teams play back-to-back in the Super Bowl, which would be actually, I think, honestly, be pretty cool. Obviously, Buffalo, I give them number 3. Number 4 team that I think JJ could go to, Baltimore. Now, not saying that they're not bad on defense, but defensively, JJ really helps. Now, of course, there are more issues in Baltimore that need to happen. They need to evolve that stupid, weak-ass passing game. Because the other day, I was watching highlights of Lamar Jackson in Louisville. He threw more in Louisville than he does now in Baltimore. And he was throwing out of the shotgun. He wasn't in the pistol or all this heavy formation. He was in a spread out offense. Yeah, he had his design runs or his, broken play runs. But for the most part, he was in shotgun, dropping back, throwing the ball. I don't know if they don't have confidence in him or they just feel like his talents are better used in that heavy running formation. But I think J.J. Watt helps Baltimore. Number 5, and of course there are a whole bunch of other teams he can go to. But I got 2 teams at 5. I got 5A, 5B. 5A, Pittsburgh. He plays opposite his brother. It's a recipe for disaster, but what is Pittsburgh offensively? JJ would have to reassess, like, do I just want to go to Pittsburgh and play with my brother, have this family moment, or do I want to go somewhere and possibly win at Pittsburgh, not knowing what's going to happen with Ben, that offense? I mean, Juju could be out. James Conner hasn't lived up to what he's supposed to be. That line is kind of just decimated. You got Claypool is pretty much the only weapon they have offensively. So, and then 5B, Seattle. They need pass rusher in Seattle. Pending they can keep Russell Wilson happy and get him an offensive line. So, 6 teams, but Seattle and Pittsburgh, they're 5A, 5B, because I feel like they equally could use JJ. But I think the slam dunk is easily Tampa Bay or Kansas City. If JJ is looking to win right now, he should go to Tampa Bay or Kansas City, pending there's not any injury. But I do see Buffalo, like I told you at the beginning of the season, that they're the dark horse in the league. I see them being the dark horse team to get JJ Watt. I think he looks good in that red, white, and blue in Buffalo. And Buffalo is just, it fits JJ's personality. You know, hard nosed, bring your lunch pail to work. Let's go to work. He's a good man for the community. Him and Josh Allen is like a match made in heaven when in terms of doing things for the community. And the Buffalo Bills fans are the best fans in the league. They're the most, y'all are the best.
Go Bills.
Y'all are the best fans in the league. Y'all are the most just caring fans. Y'all are the most loving, welcoming fans. And I feel like bringing in someone like J.J. Watt, man, that's like, you can't beat that. Now, that's the top teams he should go to. Teams J.J. Watt should avoid. Dallas Cowboys, don't come here because you're going to waste your career. Don't do it. I will speak down on my team and tell you off the rip, don't come here. Stay away from us. Just go. Don't do it. And if you love Texas that much, then you should have stayed in Houston because our organization ain't any better. And the only thing that you're going to get in Dallas is you're going to make money. And J.J. Watt doesn't come off as a guy who's about making money rather than playing for the love of the game. So Dallas, stay away from. Both New York teams. So we just put them at number 2, 2A, 2B. Stay out of there. I know you're a big name for the Big Apple. Damn, I forgot Buffalo's a New York team. So y'all got 3. Stay away from the Manhattan-based New York teams.
Oh, the New Jersey-based teams.
New Jersey. Yeah, the
New Jersey-based
Stay away from East Rutherford teams. Stay the hell away from them. The Rams. Yes, they got Matt Stafford. Yes, they have Aaron Donald. But if you're J.J. Watt and you're sitting there, can you really trust Matt Stafford to take you to the promised land? Can you? It's too uncertain. I know it looks good, and you're like, you got Sean McVay, Matt Stafford, he'll be better open up in the system. But as we talked about in the podcast, last episode or something, offensively, Sean McVay's play calling will only go so far. Who is another weapon for Matt Stafford to use in that offense to help him be the best Matt Stafford he can be? I don't see anyone. No disrespect to Robert Woods or Cooper Kupp, who can't stay healthy all of a sudden. No disrespect to those guys, but I just don't see it. Number 4, the Saints. Stay away from the Saints because Drew Brees. I mean, him opposite Cam Jordan.
Looking for retirement.
Yeah, he could be looking for retirement. And, of course, him opposite Cam Jordan is a problem. Like, no tomorrow. It is a problem. But I just... somebody in the comments was probably... I feel it in my gut. Right now, watching this video, they're like, you dumb motherfucker, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't think the Saints works. It's just... something about it just doesn't click. Now, of course, Drew Brees and JJ together is a match made in heaven, like Josh Allen and JJ. But he's uncertain. Drew Brees, not only is he uncertain, even if he does come back, can he play at a level like Tom Brady's playing at? I don't think so. His arm is just gone. It's just deteriorated over the years. Do you trust Taysom Hill at quarterback? No. Do we trust Jameis Winston? He'll give you 30 touchdowns, but he'll give you 30 interceptions, which means it's going to cost you about 2 or 3 games. I mean, Tom Brady did a 4-game swing in Tampa, cutting the interceptions in half. If you put Jameis in a Sean Payton offense, he'll probably throw you 35, 40 touchdowns, but he's going to throw you 30-plus interceptions because nothing personal against Jameis. He's a risk taker, and he will try to make a throw even when it's not there. So I'll give him props for that. But that's number 4. Number 5... you have number 5 team. Let me just say number 5 is
Broncos. I
was gonna say Broncos, but who's another would-be contender out there that people would? Green Bay. I know people were thinking.
I can see Green Bay.
I know people would think he should go to Green Bay. I'm not saying he should. should not go to Green Bay, I don't think it will work in Green Bay because the issue with Rodgers and LaFleur is kind of like spiraling out, and that could turn into a situation just like Deshaun Watson and what's going on in Houston now. Why would J.J. Watt go from one situation like that with one team to the same situation like that on another team? It would make no sense. And again, J.J. Watt comes off as a guy to me, he wants to win now. He needs to win now for his legacy as one of the most dominant defensive players to ever put on a uniform, pass rushers and all. Like, I mean, he is one of the few guys with 100 sacks now, and I didn't really realize that. And he ain't been healthy the last couple of years, like for a full season, and he still has 100 sacks. So he quietly got to 100 sacks, showing you just how dominant and game-changing he is. So that's what I think JJ... I mean, I can't speak for JJ. He's going to do what he thinks is best for him, and I wish him all the best. He is one of the greatest players to play the game of football, especially at that position. Any team that gets him, he will be a great asset. But if we're talking about winning now, and I want to be scared, Kansas City and Tampa Bay are the two teams where I'm like, if he goes to Kansas City, we're getting a Super Bowl rematch. I guarantee you. Now, if he goes to Tampa Bay, it's who will Tampa Bay play? Will they play Buffalo? Will they play Baltimore? Will it be Kansas City? Will the LA Chargers sneak up? Just a lot of teams that can. The AFC outside of Buffalo, Kansas City, and Baltimore, to me, is wide open. It is wide open. Those are the three teams that are holding the AFC hostage right now. Now, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, shut your mouth. No, y'all are not good. Just shut your mouth. You're not one of the elite teams. Be quiet. Delete your comment and go somewhere else.
Well, I got something to say about that, man.
Well, go ahead.
I think the Browns really need to address an edge and an interior defensive lineman on their defense.
Yeah.
And if they did that, they really could be, because on paper, we know on paper they have one of the most star-studded rosters.
Yeah.
And I think if they were to pick up J.J. Watt on edge and then pick up a big interior defensive lineman, that'd be a scary defense.
True. And who knows what Odell Beckham's going to do if him and Baker...
Exactly.
Because once he went down, the offense started clicking. So if Odell comes in and plays a role, well, that makes it even scarier. Of course, there are rumors, and I say rumors because it's only rumors. Of course, it's the internet. You can only take everything with a grain of salt, but there are rumors that Odell could go to New England. If Cam would have did decent, he could have went to New England. We don't know New England's quarterback situation. Or Odell could be looking to go to Tampa Bay because people are thinking that Tampa Bay will lose Chris Godwin. Well, now you got to replace that. I mean, of course, you could elevate Antonio Brown because he's played in outside the numbers, and then Scotty Miller will get more shine. But, I mean, to bring in Odell Beckham, I mean, that's another asset where if Tom Brady's in the red zone, just throw the ball somewhere. His big, massive hands, he'll catch it.
Yeah, but, I think you can draft a good wide receiver, a role-playing wide receiver at that point if that's what you need.
Yeah. But again, Tom Brady, it's like the LeBron James effect. Nothing against young players. He wants older, veteran, experienced players who are ready to win now, who will come in, buy into the system, catch it like that, and just integrate into it and just know what to do, when to do it, how to do it. He can rely on them. Again, it's nothing against young players. I mean, it just happened to be a situation where you had studs on the defense like Derek White and Antoine Winfield Jr. and et cetera, et cetera. But in terms of like at the receiver position, Mike Evans is a veteran for the most part. AB's a veteran. Gronk, we know Gronk what Gronk brings. And we know Gronk's coming back. And then O.J. Howard's coming back. I mean, with how athletic he is, you could split his ass out wide. And he's a mismatch nightmare. So Tampa Bay is looking mighty scary. But before we move on, you got anything else you want to say about Mr. Watt, Mr. 5,000 watts?
Well, I want to add on to what we were talking about. There's never been back to back Dallas Cowboys in '93 and '94 against the Buffalo Bills. That was the last time there was a dual. Well, that was the first time that they had it where two back to back teams.
Was it really?
Not really seen. And I think
that's crazy.
Can't remember who the other. Yeah, it was in '93, '94, and I can't remember the other. I don't think there's another one, but I could be wrong. Don't take it for facts, but that for sure is definitely one Super Bowl tandem that did happen.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, it is what it is. The Super Bowl it's very hard to get to.
Oh, of course.
And Tom Brady's been there 10 times. It shows his greatness, which we will now segue into the main topic of the video of today's podcast. Tom Brady. And y'all see the title of the video. Tom Brady has broke the NFL. And when I mean Tom Brady's broke the NFL, look at over half the league is about to part ways with their starting quarterback because they want results now. Tom Brady has made it. If it wasn't a results now league already, it is now. In his first year, in midst of COVID, no preseason, no training camp, he's about to get arrested for trying to practice at a high school field in the midst of a pandemic. Tom Brady went to a team that was ready to win, which a lot of teams are ready to win now. He went to a team that was ready to win, brought in that leadership, and I think that's what makes it the difference. Like, it's not about numbers for Tom. It's about what he brings in terms of leadership. He brought that to that team in Tampa, and they won. And they won convincingly. All of Tom Brady Super Bowls have been one possession games. All of them. I think single digits. Yeah, one possession games. Just like, and I mean single digits, I mean less than a touchdown. They've always been close. Hell, his first three titles, each was a 3-point game. And then he lost to the Giants, and those were close ones. He beat Seattle by 4. He beat Atlanta by 3, right? It was 31-28. I think they came back and won.
Yeah.
And then he beat the Rams.
They're 34-31.
Yeah, something like that. It was a close game. Then he beat the Rams by like 6 points or something like that. So for him to come in, and I know Pat Mahomes didn't have an offensive line, but I still think I was thinking they were going to call a better game. You know what I mean? I really thought they were going to call a better game offensively for the Chiefs. But with that being said, Tom Brady came in. You could just see that team was playing for him because they believed that he would bring them what they want the most. As a young player, to do that now means a lot because now you can either stay, play for a minimum if you just want to play and ring chase, or you got your ring, you're noticeable now, you feel like you're good enough, let me go somewhere and get paid. So it's a double dynamic. But in terms of what he brings as a quarterback, look at how these quarterbacks are now being on the move, how these franchises are making moves, because if you don't produce within basically a 3-year period, your ass is gone. Tom Brady has been a consistency model of winning for 20 plus years. He went to a franchise, year 1, title. Year 2, they're looking to be even better. Not to mention now, possibly one of the top defensive players is now a free agent. And you cannot tell me Tom Brady got to work hard to bring J.J. Watt to Tampa Bay. So I feel like Tom Brady has broke the NFL in massive ways. Like, it's like a glass, like a cup of like a glass, and he just dropped it, and it's just all over the place because teams don't know what to do now. Our hope, well, I don't want to say our hope, but as the NFL to keep like Tom Brady from winning, the hope was the Chiefs. Well, luck has it, those linemen got hurt. Tom Brady, they win. I don't know if there is. Do you think this is the start of another dynasty for Tom Brady? If he's going to play till 45, which is, 2 years from now, you think he's going to get one more title? I think he's going to get two. I think he'll get two more. Because he's driven by these challenges. Do you think he's going to go for back-to-back? Do you think he's going to go for a three-peat? Because the last team to go back-to-back, guess what? They had Tom Brady. Do you think Tom Brady will try to go for what no NFL franchise has done, three-peat?
Well, that's a really hard thing to say, especially in football. We know that it's a 53-man roster.
True.
Yes, a quarterback has a lot to do with it, but if you start getting injuries and you start racking up injuries, just like Kansas City this year, they had nobody on their line, their offensive line, and it looked like they were water against Tampa Bay's defense.
True.
And I think that, is it possible? In Brady's mind, I think it's possible for Brady, and I wouldn't doubt that he could win another one before his retirement, but I think it also comes down to the thing of, is he going to put in the amount of effort that he did to prove the doubters wrong this year? Or is he just going to be like, you know what? I'm in charge. I'm in control of my own destiny. And I'm going to control it the way I'm going to control it, not let everybody else give me the rhetoric of, oh, well, he's a system quarterback. So I think that's what we're really going to see, especially with Tom Brady. And like you said, you think he broke the NFL. I think he just proved that Tom Brady was not a system quarterback, that Tom Brady is Tom Brady. And that, people will call him the GOAT because he did something that no other player was able to ever do in the NFL, and that's hop to another team after being such a huge face of a franchise for 20 plus years, go to another team and win a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. There's not many other teams out there, or not many other players out there that could have accomplished that feat as a quarterback. We've seen it as, like a wide receiver or a running back or any other position, really.
Any other position.
As a quarterback, think about that. Not only do you have to learn a whole new system, right? You've got to learn plays. You've got to learn how, you got to mold with the players and stuff like that. That usually takes, 2-3 years. True. And I think we've also witnessed the Kansas City that we're going to see for the next several, 10 years. And the reason why is that they're not going to be able to afford an offensive line.
You think so?
Well, even if they were able to cut one or two good deals, you don't got too much tread on your tires, but you're still a good producer.
Yeah.
In numbers, even if they were able to score one or two players like that, those offensive linemen, man, they take a beating. And, it is what it is with Buffalo, they've got to take so much time holding those guys just so that they can launch the ball down the field, and it's going to be hard because Brady doesn't need that, Brady just needs enough time to launch the ball real quick.
Well, let's go back to what I said earlier. So pretty much out the NFC, unless the Packers break through, I don't see another threat out of the NFC to challenge Tampa Bay. New Orleans is a huge question mark. So is Seattle. And that leaves the Rams as a huge question mark. Teams below that tier, Arizona's not ready. Mm-mm. They're nowhere near ready. The football team is not ready. They're not ready.
I think if they were to get a good quarterback, and it could be in the carousel that's about to happen because we know a bunch of quarterbacks are going to start rotating. And
blame Tom Brady.
I think it could be a scary thing, but I really do think that if Washington gets, because their defense is nasty.
It is good, yeah. They got a good they got what? Their front seven are all first round draft picks. So all you need is a comparable secondary to hold up while you get pressure on the opposing quarterback. Mm-hmm. And you'll basically be Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay, their secondary is not, no disrespect to, because they're in the NFL. But if we're going to talk about an elite corner like Tre'Davious White, uh, Richard Sherman, Jair Alexander, Marshawn, they don't have that in Tampa. They can become that. Maybe they are now. Maybe they take the next leap here in the offseason. But as of this past season, they didn't have an, and they had a rookie out there starting. Now, I watched Antoine Winfield's dad play. He played for the Vikings. You know, just all you need. It's like these days, this is how the game is molded. The two positions that are the most important in football these days is the quarterback and a pass rusher. Do you have a pass rusher? Because if your quarterback can stand upright in the pocket and throw, no matter what team he is on, he will succeed or have some form of success. If you have a pass rusher to put that quarterback on his ass, i.e., Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, I don't give a damn how good you are. You're only going to do so well. And with Patrick Mahomes out there running for his life, because they had two edge rushers and they got pressure up the middle, there was nowhere for him to go. And having pass rushers makes it to where you don't have to blitz. You ain't got to come up with all these fancy blitzes. You can just line your linebackers up and say, hey, either you go get that guy, you go cover that guy, or I am going to send you, or we're going to mask the defense and send the corner who might come off unblocked and be faster. At quarterback will be sensing pressure, seeing ghosts. Either he'll make a mistake and throw us a pick, fumble, or he'll just drop and think he's sacked and he'll sack himself. So, like, but back to what I was saying, in terms of like NFC, the Bears aren't ready. Don't get me started on my Cowboys. The Giants are not ready. I mean, the Falcons, what are they gonna do with Matt Ryan? You know, and if they can't hold a damn lead since the Super Bowl, so
yeah.
shit. You got one team in the NFC to challenge them, and that's Green Bay.
Well, I'd be, depending on what happens with Garoppolo with the 49ers, I'm really curious because I didn't think that Richard Sherman had that much of a impact on the 49ers defense. He was there, but I don't think he was the same guy. I still don't think he's the same guy that he was in Seattle.
He's not the same guy. He's more cerebral now. In Seattle, he was cerebral and physical. Now it's more of he knows tendencies. He knows the game. He lets the game come to him. And I think that's where he gets his advantage. Same with Patrick Peterson in Arizona. He's not the same Patrick Peterson that came into the league, just an athletic freak. Now it's, can he be in the right position at the right time? And I saw a rumor today, Patrick Peterson may be one to go to Tampa Bay. God forbid, man. God forbid all these veterans just start flocking to Tampa Bay just like they did in New England when Tom was there, and they start winning. It seems like Tom Brady by himself is the Alabama Crimson Tide of the NFL. Where he goes, winning will follow. It's been proven, plain and simple. So it's like, what do you do, So we gotta hope for an AFC team to knock off Tom in the Super Bowl. And it goes back to my big three: Buffalo, KC, or Baltimore. Now, Buffalo y'all gotta get a healthy running back, and y'all gotta run the damn ball. Y'all didn't run the ball twice against the Ravens, and then like 6 times against the Chiefs, man.
Well, I think it all comes down to the O-line and the offensive play scheme, man.
True.
Brian Daboll, man, he's really sold into Josh Allen and his arm. And
I mean, he has a good arm. You can't deny it.
I think that he's also trying to do a lot like Greg Roman over in Baltimore, where you give the ball completely to Lamar Jackson to completely give him the option to pass, rush, or hand the ball off to the running back.
A lot of RPOs.
Yeah, and I think that because you see a lot of play action passes from Josh Allen, and I think that's kind of the thought logic on it. I mean, I don't really that's just a guess, but I feel like that's something along those lines where that's let's give Josh Allen the most ability to win, and that's the biggest thing with it.
Yeah.
So that's just my guess, and I think that if the Bills were to get a decent running back, I think that's a big thing too. We have good running backs, but they're not busters. It's not Marshawn Lynch back there rushing through the back.
Here's a question. So the Bucks just won a Super Bowl. You think it's possible you guys could get Leonard Fournette if he doesn't re-sign? Maybe Ronald Jones. I mean, look how hard he was running, man.
Here's the thing. If that's just like LaShawn McCoy, right? Mm-hmm. LaShawn McCoy went and sat the bench over in Kansas City to get that ring. Yeah. And then he seen that Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay, and he said, what? I'm not done yet.
He went back to back.
He went to back-to-back championships, right? Hey, it doesn't matter if he played a snap.
I'm not even going to lie. I forgot LaShawn Shady was on the Bucks. How the mighty have fallen. I didn't see a downfall of Shady like that when he was still playing, good minutes. He just kind of like, all right, I'm on the bench. Screw it. I got my rings, And
that's the thing, man. I think that because he's going into retirement right now, man. He could sit there. He had all those 1,000-yard rushing years, 8 seasons.
Yeah.
Where he did 1,000-yard rushing, and he was never on a team that went anywhere, And
True.
Not to bash the Bills, but the years that he was with the Bills, man,
y'all didn't
kind of wasted his youth.
Yeah. If y'all would have had that Shady in Buffalo with this Josh Allen, I think it helps. And it helps, too, because it helps him in the passing game. Because Shady McCoy is a great receiving running back as well as he's a great running back. I think that would have helped. But I think that's what y'all are missing. Y'all are missing a tailback. And y'all are missing a good number 2 receiver. Now, we got some free agents coming up. I mean, y'all can get Kenny Golladay. I forgot who else is coming up in free agency that maybe y'all can sign. That helps Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, so the list of
no
wide receivers is actually pretty big.
What y'all need is a damn tight end. That's what y'all need.
What we need.
You need honestly, a tight end.
Because we have a good lineup of wide receivers.
Yeah.
But because you got Stephon Diggs, you got John Brown, you got Beasley, and you got I'm trying to think of his name. What Davis.
Davis and what's the other guy? Is it JJ Brown or JJ Nelson?
We don't got no Nelson.
No, is it Brown then?
Yeah, I already said John Brown.
Oh, you said okay, yeah.
But John Brown, my whole thing is, man, he was really hurt this year.
He got hurt this year, and
he came back. Dude. He wasn't producing the numbers that he was, and partially because Josh Allen lost kind of a reliability factor with him because he'd launch it out for him, and John Brown wouldn't be anywhere where he needed to be.
Exactly.
But tight end, you got Hunter Henry coming from the Chargers. I don't know if they'll sign him again, and the reason being is you have, Justin Herbert, which is literally going to be, the next big guy.
He's Josh Allen 2.0. He's just where Josh Allen was as a rookie. Herbert is already ahead of that. We think so.
Well, I think it comes from having a coach that's offensively minded.
True.
And mind that Anthony Lynn had already been fired, but I think that having him where you had a not necessarily him as an offensive him as offensive minded, but how he was pretty much making plays on the field because he was like, wait a second, Anthony Lynn, man. That don't sound right, man. I think that's a big thing, too, is that he kind of took the reins at times.
Yeah.
Well, I got a big question for you.
Ask away.
So, even if you had, let's say, Tom Brady or even Patrick Mahomes right now, right? Or Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
Now, your team finished pretty good this year, right? Let's say you finished, top 20, right? Or not top 20. You in the draft, you're going to be more than 20 in position to draft, right?
Yeah.
But because of a trade that you made, you have a top 3 pick. And this is actually another good quarterback draft class. Would you possibly draft a quarterback, even if he was a backup, a good one that you know you could be relied on in case someone like Patrick Mahomes got hurt or Tom Brady?
Not on the first round pick. Let me rephrase. Not on a top 5 pick. If I got a top 5 pick, Devontae Smith is coming to my team, and I'm one of those teams. I'm getting that kid. Whether he transitions, we've seen, Alabama produces amazing route runners coming out of that school. For a school that used to be run heavy when Saban got there, they produced some damn good route runners. So I'm getting Devontae Smith. Now, I think
he's a little small.
Oh no, he's definitely
a little
small. He's frail. He's frail. But Marvin Harrison was small. Hall of Fame. Antonio Brown is small. I don't know if he go to Hall of Fame because he's a dumbass lately, but he's a great player. Tyreek Hill isn't a big guy. He's just built.
He's compact. Man.
Yeah,
he's compact.
He's like our size. He's like my size. He's just thick. Let me.
Reason I asked that, man, is you got the Miami Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
We have a question at quarterback, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying that they believe they're going to stick with Tua.
They should.
To me,
I don't know why you would go away from him already. Like, give him a chance. He's a rookie. And that goes back to what I said. The NFL is a win now league. They're going to toss aside a rookie because they didn't win like they thought they should. That's what goes back to what Tom Brady has broke the league. Because when Tom Brady came and started his first year, what did he do? Win the Super Bowl. Tom Brady has broken the NFL. And it didn't help that Patrick Mahomes...
More times than we can count.
It didn't help that Pat Mahomes, his first season, motherfucker light skin comes in, throws 50 touchdowns. 50. 5,000 yards. Changes the game. It's just...
Well, here's my take on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel like it's going to be another Josh Rosen experiment, right?
I hope not. Because I feel like he got wasted, man.
Well, yeah, I did too. Well, the Cardinals, man, he just wasn't producing where he should have been.
But it was 1 year. 1 year.
Yeah, he was. You're right.
One.
Well,
he had
look at who they have now, though.
Exactly.
They have Kyler Murray.
But look, Rosen had no weapons, no line to speak of. The defense is all they had was Peterson, right? Why are you giving up hope on this guy? Let him see. That's where the NFL. To me, Tom Brady's broken the NFL. We don't let quarterbacks develop now when they get drafted like they did, let's say, 30 years ago. They don't get a chance to. And even, when you look at the greats, Dan Marino wins the Super Bowl his second year. Elway was great fast. Aikman was great fast. But other quarterbacks don't get a chance to just develop just grow in the system. Brett Favre was not great out the window.
Aikman was not.
Tom Brady's predecessor, Drew Bledsoe, was not great out the window. He became good. Kurt Warner was not great out the window. Steve McNair was not great out the window. They don't let these quarterbacks develop for a couple of years and get to learn the game. They just want them to come in, jump in, win me a Super Bowl, kid, or take me to the promised land now. When you have no weapons around this guy, no line to speak of, none of that. The situation is just ass. But you want this guy to just win. Peyton Manning did not win out the gate.
Yeah, the most interceptions.
Exactly. All time, and he's an all-time great. He didn't win out the gate.
No, you're right. I think here's the big difference, man. When we talk about these older quarterbacks, right? Mm-hmm. So we talk about these quarterbacks like Kurt Warner and all them, right? It wasn't the next big quarterback coming out of the NFL every year. You didn't get these guys who played football ever since they were the age of 1, 2, 3. You know, they started developing these kids at a young age. These kids can all come out. All these college kids that were, 5-star prospects and stuff, man, all of them come in the NFL. Every last one of them.
True.
You know, it's just about developing. And I think that's where the NFL really has, man. You've got to develop fast. If you don't develop fast, man, you get left to the curb.
Yeah.
And I think for Miami, dude, if they don't draft a quarterback first in that first round, dude, they'll never have a draft pick that high because they're a good team, man. I think that they're gonna stay consistently in the I think it's gonna be Bills and Dolphins consistently for the next decade.
Who, if you're Miami in the front office, who do you draft? Do you draft a quarterback, or do you draft a lineman? Do you draft skill position? Because now draft experts are saying you should not draft running backs or receivers early in rounds because if you look at some of the top receivers in the league, they were late round draft picks. Stephon Diggs was a 5th round. Devontae Adams was a 2nd round. DeAndre Hopkins was a late 1st round. Tyreek Hill was a 5th round. Antonio Brown was a 6th round. I mean, Mike Evans.
Here's one for you. Mm-hmm. Sammy Watkins was a 1st round,
early draft pick. Ain't really shit. Mike Evans he's a 1st rounder, and he's doing pretty good. But you look at some of Michael Thomas was a 3rd round pick. He's one of the top receivers in the league. So, and same with running backs. Alvin Kamara, 3rd round pick. Derrick Henry, I think, was a 2nd round. Even though he won the Heisman, he was a 2nd round. Now, Christian McCaffrey was a 1st round pick, and he's lived up to that height. But Leonard Fournette kind of fell off a bit. Rojo was a late round pick, as far as I know. And look how good he was. I mean, I think in the 1st round, you're either drafting a quarterback for your franchise or you're drafting somebody on the defense, i.e. pass rusher, linebacker, dominant DB, as in cornerback who's going to lock up, i.e. Tre'Davious White, or you're drafting a lineman that's going to protect you like the Bucs did. That's what I think 1st round draft picks are starting to become.
I agree with that.
Every other position, skill position, especially running backs, tight ends, receivers, they're coming in late rounds because they can just develop into the role. And so many of them are so talented, you ain't got to waste a 1st round pick on them. As in where it comes to linemen and pass rushers, if you don't find that guy in the 1st round, you might not find that guy in the later rounds.
Yep.
Because I can't name one pass rusher that's good right now drafted outside the 2nd round.
That's true. No, I mean, well, maybe some older guys.
Maybe some older guys, but they're not Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt. They're not T.J. Watt. They're not Joey Nick Bosa. You know, those are.
Yeah, well, I think the big thing when we're talking about these guys, man, dude, they have a lot of hype coming out of college, man.
True.
I mean, and you guys, just like you said, man, you have to have a very particular pick in the 1st round, man. And if you that's why they always say take the best on the board with the 1st round, especially if you're a late 1st rounder.
Yeah.
Just take the best on the board because at that point in time, you might, hey, I'm going to waste my pick on an offensive tackle that is probably ranked 5th or 6th, on a late round, 1st draft pick, and that's kind of why I think that the Patriots over the last, they really never picked the 1st round draft pick. They would trade.
And they kept winning.
Yeah. So I think that's a big thing, man. And I think if the Dolphins do not go after a quarterback in that that top, because it's number 3.
Yeah.
I think if they don't go after a quarterback, man, even though they have Tua, I think it's a waste because at that point in time, I mean, you're never going to get that high again. You're never. At least.
This sounds crazy to say, and it may be a waste. I think franchises should do a 3-year plan with the quarterback. If you draft the quarterback, he got 3 years. If he don't develop into, I'm not saying maybe win your Super Bowl, but if his numbers don't add up to MVP caliber numbers, if he's not doing things to change your franchise from just his raw talent to the show that he can play, that's when I think you get rid of a quarterback. He gets a 3-year plan. You got to give a quarterback a 3-year plan. Other positions,
Agree with you.
other positions, 1 year you don't produce, goodbye. Because quarterback is harder to play. You got to read. You got to be able.
Oh,
To,
yeah.
you got to be able to read defenses, make throws. I mean, you could get drafted in a weird situation, and injuries, linemen, receivers go down. Your first year you may suck, but the next year you're great, or you may just break through after you get some help, like Josh Allen did. Nobody said Josh Allen was a bust, but this year Josh Allen went 0 to 100 real fucking quick. I honestly think, and some people may think this is stupid, I think Josh Allen should have won MVP. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. He had better numbers than Rodgers and Mahomes. Josh Allen should have won MVP because he was the MVP of the Bills. Yes, Stephon Diggs helped, but Josh Allen was fucking balling this year.
Oh yeah. Well, I think when we talk about this, right? So let's look at who Rodgers faced this year. He didn't face a lot of good teams this year. You know, he had a lot of fluff, and that's just like Patrick Mahomes. He had a lot of fluff in his stats because, hey, if I could go against the Jacksonville Jaguars and just light them up, I would. I mean, seriously. I mean, if you had the ability.
Your New York came out the Jaguars.
So, you know, and that's the thing, man, is that and the Bills did not have an easy schedule, man. The strength of schedule, I think, was like 4th or 5th overall. I mean, we faced really good teams all year round. And
y'all played well.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's the big thing, man, and that's something that they don't look at these. And it's just media people. They may be, you know, it might not be a guy that watches football. Yeah, and he votes.
Yeah, and he
or she, you know. And
see,
they vote and they're.
See, I see the game as a fan, but I play the game. And people think, especially a lot of players, they think just because you're not in the NFL that you don't know the game. You ain't got to be in the NFL coaching or playing to know the game of football. I don't have to be out there to know X's and O's, but I know X's and O's. I might not know it to the extent of Tom Brady or Bruce Arians or Patrick Mahomes or Andy Reid, but I can know the game of football. I can sit here and watch the game on silent like I'm watching film and I know what defense they're running. I know exactly what plays about to happen. I know the protection. I know all this, all that. I can do that because I love the game. I know the game. So it seems like, people get mad when people like us come on here and give a critique. I don't give a fuck, but they get mad when we come on here and give our opinion. But our opinion is backed up. It makes sense. We're not up here just spewing nonsense like blah, 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 blah. We like this player and we're just not some casual like because he's popular. You know, we're talking about people and players that most casuals won't even know. You know, shit that's going on. But
we watch more than just the game too, you know. Yeah. And that's the thing, because we talk about it all the time, man. And that's the thing, dude. We'll watch the shitty games that nobody wants to watch, you know.
Yeah, just because we love the game.
Yeah, and you get to see some pretty crazy things because you're like, wait a second, this shouldn't have happened that way. Like the Jets beating the Seahawks, you know.
Yeah.
You're like, what? That shouldn't have won, you know. And that's the thing, man, dude. And that's what the love of football is, man. And I think a lot of people forget that.
They do.
And they get so caught up on what's their next team they're gonna pick because it's the best.
It's the best. Yeah, it's the best team. Yeah.
I'm gonna hop on the Chiefs because they won the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be a Tampa Bay fan because Brady's down there now, and that's the only player I know.
Right.
And you know, I don't know how many years I had to wait to say that I had a good team, but
you know what? I bet if you ask like a casual fan, who were the last 5 Super Bowl MVPs? Tom Brady? You know? Like,
I mean, they wouldn't be wrong.
Exactly.
He's at least 2 of them.
God, oh my goodness. You know, it's just things like that. But, yeah, I think Josh Allen should have won MVP.
Oh, for sure.
It would have been something different. Now, am I mad Rodgers got it? No. But I think Allen, the way he played, the step he took this year, Aaron Rodgers has always been great. We knew he's great. We knew once he He was motivated with Jordan Love getting drafted, who didn't even dress for whatever fucking reason. Why'd you draft him? Whatever. Patrick Mahomes, he was good. But I mean, Josh Allen just stood out. It was a 180. It was night and day. He went from here, fucking up here. So I don't know how you don't give him the MVP. Well, he's in Buffalo. I don't care about that. People look at markets and fanfare and all that bullshit. No.
Yeah, markets, how much your jersey's selling.
Buffalo's a small market. It's blue collar, whatever the fuck collar they call that shit. It's, it's not as popular. It's cold all the fucking time. Fuck that noise. Josh Allen balled this year. He balled out. That team, I feel like they just got outcoached in the AFC title game against the Chiefs. They would have called a better game. They could have won.
I think honestly, man, looking back at it, dude, I think Leslie Frazier, dude, was trying to get himself that head coach job somewhere.
I'm trying to go home now. Let's get this job.
Dude, I mean, hey, you never know, because they do interview, but a team might be like, I don't know yet because you're still playing. I don't know if you want to go back to that team next year.
True.
And that's the thing. Who knows, dude? Who knows? Because, dude, the Brian Daboll game, man, sometimes you're like, wait, it's like, why did you call that? Like, I'm not even a head coach or an offensive coordinator, and I know that you're throwing in the totally wrong direction, or what I mean? Like, you're letting your guys get covered. Like, for instance, like the whole when he'll tell Josh Allen to force the digs, because you'll see it, and Josh Allen kind of looks and he's like, I don't know if I want to throw it there because he's double covered, But then it's the Diggs factor too. Diggs will make a play just like Tyreek Hill will or Travis Kelce, and I think that's a big thing. Like we talked earlier. Getting a tight end, and I think that
it'll help. And here's my thing, back to the MVP. If someone's going to come with the argument, well, he has Stephon Diggs to help him out. Okay, Aaron Rodgers had Devontae Adams. Devontae fucking Adams, who caught what? 18 touchdowns? Patrick Mahomes had Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman. Fucking Andy Reid calling plays for him and shit. Like, come on, man. You can't name an MVP who didn't have weapons. The fuck out of here, man. Josh Allen fucking balled this year. So that motherfucker, his big ass should have won MVP. Now, he has to replicate that next year because the Bills are going to need him to do that next year. Because like I said, the AFC is going through Buffalo, Kansas City, or Baltimore next year. Those are the three teams. The NFC, I'm just looking down the line. Nobody's challenging Tampa Bay. Pending injury. If there's no injury, Green Bay has the best shot. But, I mean, what will they do different that they didn't do this past year? Who are they going to get to help Aaron Rodgers? I mean, you can't play. The defense got 3 turnovers in a row on Tom Brady. And Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur did not cash in even one of them. So that's on them. So the defense obviously is good because they still only lost by 5 points. It's not like Tampa Bay lit them up outside of that one Scotty Miller play because Kevin King, Mr. Get Toasty himself, eyes in the backfield for whatever fucking reason. I don't understand.
Yeah, dude, and I agree with you, man. It's going to be interesting. And remember, dude, free agency and the draft always changes.
Yeah, you're right.
Because you have teams like, remember the Jaguars, dude. The year that Blake Bortles took them deep into the playoffs, dude. Nobody thought that they were going to be anybody. And they drafted right that year. I think they had a new head coach, if I'm not mistaken. I'm thinking Doug Marrone.
If Blake Bortles would have been any of a serviceable quarterback, the Jags should have went to the Super Bowl that year. I'm not going to blame the defense for letting them come back. Excuse me. I'm going to blame the offense for not keeping the pressure on Tom Brady to help the defense. There's 3 phases to the game, and only one.
You can't just have one phase going.
Exactly. So I'm looking up if there's any new NFL news worth talking about before we close out.
I think that didn't Russell Wilson say he wanted to trade?
Oh yeah, that's what we wanted. Yeah, Yeah, Russell Wilson. Not only that, he threw his lineman under the bus. So
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
I guess he's paying for all the steak dinners this upcoming season. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think this is Sierra chirping in Russell's ear like, "Hey, can we go somewhere that can help my career?" Because musically, her career ain't, not trying to be disrespectful, but her career ain't been shit. Let me go to Apple Music right now. What is Sierra's last hit?
What about this? What if the 49ers trade Garoppolo with a first-round draft pick to Seattle for Russell Wilson? I know they're in the same division. I could see it though.
With the rivalry, those two teams, nah.
Well, here's the thing though. Remember, Russell's the one that gets to make the decision of the trade.
True.
So if he picks, and I mean, I agree with you, but I feel like that would be the one place.
Chicago. Chicago. They got the defense. No, but he hasn't.
What about the Colts? What about the Colts?
The Colts, yeah. But the Colts ain't got no. What are his weapons in Indy? What are his weapons in Chicago? Yeah, you got a defense. But I mean,
let's see here. Hold on, Chicago. Let's look at Chicago.
While you do that, I'm looking at so Sierra's last single hit was "Level Up." Now I remember that song because it's, social media was a Vine thing. But outside of that, I mean, most of her more popular songs was 7 years and Back. I mean, Goodies came out. I was in fucking high school.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, would she? Here's the thing, though. Would she make it good in Chicago, though? I could see her going to New York City, though. New York City.
Russell Wilson.
Because didn't she work with Jay-Z?
Yeah, he better not go to no fucking New York. Ain't shit for Russell in New York.
New York Giants.
I can see him. Oh, hell no. Well, I mean, the Rams got Stafford, so the LA's out the question.
Yeah. Well, so
the Dolphins
Chicago's got.
What if they what if they trade him and Tua?
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about the Dolphins.
Miami's a good hotspot for media.
It is. You're right. I don't think they have the cap space for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, because he's a hard cap.
Because they're kind of pressing it because with all the acquisitions that they had last year with defense, they're still going to need
because he's still on that
wide receiver.
Yeah, he on that.
And that's the thing. Like, yeah, he's got a huge contract that they're going to have to absorb. And well, let's see here. What about the lowest cap?
What about this? Is crazy. What about the Cowboys? America's team, very popular. Dallas is like a small little mini Vegas, and Sierra was born in Austin, Texas.
Okay,
she's from Austin, Texas. She's born 45 minutes from us, man. So, and Austin has turned into Little Hollywood.
Well, dude, I think the only team that really could absorb him. Well, you got the Jets and the Patriots, dude, but there's not really much in
oh my
New
God.
England.
You know what? It's not, but Russell Wilson, the irony that he loses to the Patriots and goes there. The irony of that. But I can see New England. It makes sense. They got the cap
Colts
room.
too, man.
Colts make sense.
Dude, Colts has got $69 million.
Colts
dude.
make sense.
With Quentin Nelson, dude, that'd be a nasty.
You know what? And the Colts is one of those teams. They're ready to win now. They just need their Tom Brady. Now, can Russell Wilson be that? I think so. But he got to turn down on them interceptions. A lot of those interceptions, once the second half of the season started, was on his ass. I watched a lot of him.
I think a lot of the time he's used to his old receivers, man, where he would be able to throw to them and they would be able to make that little bit of extra effort. I
think he when you got someone like DK Metcalf out there, you just tempted just like,
toss it.
Hey man, go get him, man. you know?
But, I mean, at that token though, that's the thing, man. DK Metcalf, dude, I really wanted him for the Bills, but
he's a fucking monster, bro.
Dude, he is, dude. I just think that realistically speaking, when you look at a guy like that, you have to double cover him. Yeah. And they always got to play one deep. You know what I mean? You always have to play deep a deep safety. And I think that's where Russell's been having that problem, man, is he doesn't have really anybody else to throw to.
That's true.
I mean, he does, but not like DK Metcalf that can go run the whole entire field.
That's true. Here's the thing though: if Russell leaves Seattle, I feel bad for Jamal Adams. He came there to try to win, and now the damn franchise quarterback is leaving. Now he's there by himself with who? Two good receivers.
That's true.
I mean,
dude, what about this? This is just a craziness. The Jaguars trade the first overall draft pick for Russell Wilson.
I don't know. I don't know if Russ would want to play for Urban Meyer. I don't know. And
I forgot Urban Meyer's going there.
Yeah,
I don't think he wants to play. I think he wants to go play for like Andy Reid, someone that's offensively minded.
Yeah, and that would be why he asked to be like, hey, can I be in the process of hiring someone? I just want to be consulted. He wants to play.
Yeah,
it's no disrespect against Pete Carroll, but Pete Carroll is more old school defensive minded, which it's worked. I mean, look what he did at USC.
Yeah.
Look what he did. He took the Seahawks back-to-back titles and got one. For the most part, he's been in the playoffs every year. The Seahawks have always been contenders. It's just lately they just can't get over the hump because you can clearly see where the holes are in the team. But I think he does, for sure. With seeing how Patrick Mahomes is successful. Ooh. Just popped in my head. If Drew Brees retires, Russell Wilson and New Orleans.
But here's the thing.
Him, Thomas. Well, I don't know what Michael Thomas is going to do. The Kamara, Sean Payton, New Orleans.
I don't know, man. They're 69. They're $69 million over the cap right now.
Oh shit. Okay. Never mind. Goddamn.
Yeah, I don't know how they're that much because it don't look like it on paper.
God damn. Never mind, man.
But that's what it says. There's $69 million over the cap. Who do they have?
Well,
I think
Michael Thomas.
Oh, okay. So you have Cameron Jordan, Michael Thomas.
Yeah, Cam Jordan's taking a
Armstead, Hill,
Jenkins,
Alexander. Yeah. Holy dude! I didn't realize.
And Lattimore. Oh yeah, Taysom Hill got a fat contract to be fucking backup.
Pete Ramsky and Ramzik.
They're playing Jameis. They're paying Jameis some good amount of money to be a third string or 2A.
Davis, Lattimore, Emmanuel Sanders.
Lattimore
Lattimore
should be up for a contract extension here, or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's so. After this year, he's up for a contract.
Yeah. See, so cap wise, it won't make sense. But if they had the cap, New Orleans would be scary, and
that would be the smart.
They would be a contender for sure to go against Tampa Bay.
What about the Raiders?
Oh yeah, they are shopping Derek Carr.
Because they would have.
It is Vegas.
I could send, if I was them, I'd send two of their highest contracts out.
I don't see Russell getting along with John Gruden. Just
the way I could see that.
Gruden is so in your face. At this point in his career, Russ ain't gonna take that shit. He's not gonna take that. Gruden needs a young quarterback that he can mold and just fuck with. He needs that.
Well, you know what? I think that they might draft a quarterback this year. I really don't know because Derek Carr, dude, he's still a good quarterback.
I think he's a good quarterback.
Man, dude, it's like they always put together. You know, like remember that one kid in school you went to? You know, everybody hung out with that like pieced together their bike.
Yeah,
They just add random crap to it. Like that's the Raiders, man. They just keep adding random. And he'll be like, "Hey, man, we got another defensive tackle." He'd be like, "What? We had like 7 of those." And that's the Raiders.
They were that lunch table at lunch that had like all the most randomest people sitting there, and like, who the fuck are you? I'm the new kid. When'd you get here? Yep. Shit like that. Yeah, man.
Pretty much. And you know, the thing is, dude, because who did the Jets end up going with for it was Sealy, right?
Robert Salah something.
Saley, I think is
Yeah, he
Saley,
was
the
the
49ers.
yeah 49ers D coordinator. Which why these shit? This is why shit franchises stay shit franchises. They don't help these new coaches when they get them build at all. They don't help them build.
Well, I think their smartest thing that they could do with him is they eject CJ Mosley out of the picture and Jamison Crowder. And not saying that they completely trashed the
Jamison
team.
Crowder.
They're really two high paid players that I feel like kind of stuck around and got the best from a worse situation.
Could be.
And I feel like Sam Darnold, man, I feel like he hasn't really gotten the best opportunity because, dude, they just like give away their best players. So, like, yeah, sure, you can have them.
Just thinking, I think Russ, I think he wants to go to a team with a young coach like LaFleur or McVay, but I think he needs to go to a team with an old coach like Belichick, because let's look at all the Super Bowl winners previously. Bruce Arians, Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, Dougie P, Pete Carroll, Tom Coughlin, who else won? John Harbaugh won in this decade. Whoever the Broncos had, I think Gary Kubiak. We just froze. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? You still there? Hello? Oh my goodness. Holy shit, my whole thing just froze, bro. In the middle of me talking.
Yeah, hold on. It's coming. It's coming. It's
starting to... damn.
There we go.
Okay, as I was saying, look at all the coaches in the last 20 years. It just froze again. We're gonna have to my internet connection is saying unstable. What?
Hold on, just wait a second. Just
we're gonna have to get ready to cut this. See, because of that, now I can't be showing people bootlegging this this bitch. What I was saying was, look at all the coaches that have won Super Bowls in the past 20 years. Mike Tomlin's probably the youngest one. All these coaches are old school. All these teams are hiring these new coaches. None of their asses is winning.
I think, and a caveat to that, man, I think it's a lot of these older coaches, man, they know what it takes to win that big game.
True.
You know how to go in that locker room at halftime if you're getting your ass whooped like the Patriots were against the freaking the Falcons.
Yeah.
Talk your guys. Look, we need to win this game. We need to come back and win. And that's really what it takes, man. And these guys that are young, who've never been in that situation. Look at Andy Reid, dude. It took him what?
Forever.
3 championships to get that one win.
Forever.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it took him forever.
And I mean, he's a great coach. It's just sometimes, dude, it's that other guy on the other side of the ball who's just better coaching.
He's better. But we have eclipsed an hour out of nowhere. I just lost track of time. So if y'all came and listened to the whole thing, thank y'all. Due to the freezing of the Zoom call here at the end, I'm gonna let it show. Fuck it. Y'all gonna see all of my shit. Y'all gonna see all my OBS settings and all that shit. So kudos to you if you stuck around long enough. But I want y'all to thank my co-host Z. Y'all give him a big round of applause.
Man, appreciate coming back.
He man makes me excited, man, coming to do this. If y'all let us, we sit here and talk football probably hours on end, like just talking and shit. One of these days, we're gonna have to get on here and just tell some Army stories. We gotta get some more people on. We gotta get some more of the old crew on, but we're gonna come on here and tell some Army stories. But that's the podcast, y'all. Y'all be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the podcast, share the content, spread the news. Put down in the comment section what you think about J.J. Watt leaving Houston or being released. Give us your thoughts on Tom Brady breaking the NFL because he did. And give us your thoughts on what you think Russell Wilson should do. Should he listen to Sierra or should he just stay in Seattle? But I'm Apollo. On behalf of Nate, we signing out. Y'all stay safe. Take care of each other. All glory to God.